And I will tell you, parents, if you will actually set these standards and you will hold to them, everybody in your house will hold to them, right?
That's true.
But it starts with you. You can't expect them to hold a standard that you're not holding them to it.
Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continuous support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world. Okay, honey, we're back.
We're back again.
We are in part 3. And this time we want to talk about the system to build respect.
I love this topic.
Right? This is so good.
I love it.
I'm telling you, this is like game changer kind of stuff. Doesn't seem super complicated, but it's like as easy as some of this stuff is to implement, it's equally as easy to not.
Well,
and so it's just, again, it takes a lot of intentionality. So if you've listened to parts 1 and 2, you kind of know the problem. You know, the problem can be what we would call, and please don't take offense to this, a lack of leadership. And it's probably because you haven't been trained how to lead in these specific situations.
Absolutely.
So now let's give you the solution, the system that we use, okay? And this is a part of it. It's not all of it, but I think you can only learn so much at one moment anyways. But I think if you fix these things alone, it's going to really make a difference in your household. So, okay, number 1, here's part of the system. Let's call this a 3-part system. Number 1, clear expectations, right? What's that mean, hon?
I mean, clear expectation is your kids should know how to respond to you, how to act, and what happens if they don't.
Okay,
you know,
that's good. So how to respond in any situation. You have to teach them, not just allow them just to respond anyway.
Or just guess.
Most
kids would just guess.
And then you could be disappointed.
Yes.
Because they didn't respond the way you expected, but they never were taught how to respond.
Right.
They're looking for that direction. They're looking for that leadership, okay? Maybe sometimes they'll act a certain way, but you haven't really specifically taught them. I know we went through some examples before.
Yep.
A lot of this shows up, I feel like, when you're in public, and what is the expectation of how you're supposed to act, and that's big. And I feel like we're training this all the time. I feel like we're still training this all the time,
Oh, I know we are, because again, what happens if they don't behave the way we want? Then we're disappointed, like you said. And many times, I know we've talked in other episodes, is we do a lot of reenacting of what might be coming up. How we expect you to behave when we're going to this place. How we expect you to behave when people are coming over. How we expect you to behave at grandma and grandpa's house or at our friend's house or at dinner or something like that. And we, especially as they've gotten older, been able to role play with them in situations when they're not with us. Hey, when kids are talking about these topics, how do you behave? Or if this is introduced to you, now that our girls are big and doing their own thing a lot of times, how do we react?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's like little examples are like, and I remember us teaching this to all 6 of our kids. So when I call your name, do you respond immediately, right? Hey, Hunter. And if there's just silence, right? Hunter, is there just silence? And then all of a sudden you're like, where's Hunter? She's like, oh, I'm right here. It's like, why didn't you respond?
Right.
Remember, the standard here is when I call your name, you hear me, you respond. Yeah? Yeah, Mom? That's usually what you hear throughout the house,
Hey, Mom, I'm over here.
That's really, really important. Another one is no talking back, like ever, right? Like ever. No. Ever. You don't get to. But also part of the expectation is how do you communicate something when you do have a challenge? We've got to teach all of our kids this too, so they don't just they can't ever have an issue with something, And I remember different examples was what the kids like, whether it's doing dishes or something, and we'd teach our kids to be proactive, but they all had different roles to do. And then if some people weren't doing their roles, then, the proactive person who was trying to
doing them all
would do it all, but then they would get frustrated because they weren't even being noticed being proactive and the other person's being lazy.
That's good.
So how do they communicate that to you? There has to be a safe enough place to be able to do that.
Or if they just actually didn't agree with like, hey, Mom and Dad, I don't agree that we're doing this. I thought we had said we were going to do this. And the way they brought it to us was so important. We'd be like, we actually appreciate you bringing that to us. I can understand where you wouldn't understand.
Yeah, I remember that we were managing, like, how do you get homework done?
Yep.
Plus, how do you eat your meals? How do you do the stuff that maybe you needed done, which is the random stuff throughout the day,
Yep.
right? Which all pops up in our family. And it was overlapping. And at one point, I remember a couple of the kids being like, can we talk about this?
Yep.
Because we don't know that the system we currently have is working. We're not challenging your authority, but can we just talk it through? It was a great conversation, and we're like, okay, well, then let's come up with some solutions. And we did, and now it's been pretty smooth ever since.
And if not, they bring it to us again. Things have changed again.
Yeah. Next one is part 2, or number 2 is consistent follow through.
Yes.
It's a big one, huh?
Yeah. I would say for this one, being consistent is so important in a family. Predictability is so important. Kids thrive when they know what to expect. And so for us personally, you can't just enforce something sometimes. It's an all the time deal.
Yeah.
And not that there isn't grace if somebody's not feeling well, or, you're on vacation or stuff like that. And I don't want you to think our household is like militant and we're not flexible, but we try to go over our calendar with the kids literally the night before and the morning of. Hey, I just want to remind you guys, like today, changed a few things up. And I said, hey, here's the game plan. I need some time to, podcast with Dad, but afterwards I want all this stuff done.
Yep.
And they were like, oh, and I was like, I know I'm going to give you extra time because of that, and again, they just want to understand what to expect. And therefore they'll go do what you expect. You just have to be clear with it.
Yep. So if you correct it once, you have to be willing to correct it every time.
That's right.
I've watched that before, where somebody will like get the courage to make the correction, and then maybe the kid didn't really respond exactly like you had hoped. So then you almost feel bad, or you question yourself. And then the next time it happens, you don't correct it. But then the next time after that it happens, you might correct it. And it creates that inconsistency. But this consistent follow through is really, really important.
And I think one of the keys to that, though, is husband and wife being on the same page.
Oh, yeah.
Because if I correct something and you didn't know I did, or we were dealing with it, I need your support and be like, hey, just so you know, this is the new rule here. I'm tired of arguing with the kids about XYZ. And same thing that you do for me.
Okay. Number 3 of the 3-part system, having calm authority.
Yeah.
Right. The goal is not anger, it's control. It's got to be calm. It's got to be direct. It's got to be firm. And, we actually use this line quite a bit. This is not how we act. Mm-hmm. Try again. Mm-hmm. Or this is how we act, right? We explain it. It's like, this is not how we act. So try again.
We like to remind our kids, this is not who you are. This behavior is not of who you are. This is not our standard. So let's correct this. Let's just fix it.
Yeah, I remember a buddy teaching me that early on. And I remember him saying, he said, it takes energy in order to actually correct your kid in a moment, but it takes additional energy to actually say, to speak to their identity. Mm-hmm. And I remember hearing that. It never left me, because I'm like,
it's good.
Wow. Because it's true. Our kids do get a lot of the deep rooted identity is from what we tell them they are.
Yeah.
Who we tell them they are consistently.
Who we remind them who they are.
Who we remind them. And they don't just get it. Like, we have to build it.
Yeah, we definitely had to correct our words. We grew up differently.
Yeah.
And so, we wanted to speak into the behavior, not the identity of the kid in a positive way versus a negative way.
We have a Francis family placemat, which is really, really powerful. I think everybody should probably grab a hold of that at some point. But we have a whole bunch of our core standards. We have a whole bunch of how we act, et cetera. But just some basic ones are things like, in this house, we listen the first time. We always speak with respect, not only to our parents, but to each other.
Yep.
Right. Another one is that we follow instructions right away. Mm-hmm. We follow instructions right away. And I will tell you, parents, if you will actually set these standards and you will hold to them, everybody in your house will hold to them. Mm-hmm. Right.
That's true.
But it starts with you. You can't expect them to hold a standard that you're not holding them to it. And so, honey, what's some practical implementation that people can do this week?
I think maybe you start off with maybe 3 family rules for your family. What are
kind of like the ones we just described, or choose
just
whatever
feel like
makes
those
sense.
are the 3 that we really want to implement right away. I think that would be really important and helpful. I think another thing is communicate very clearly with your family.
Yeah, actually have a sit down.
Have a team meeting.
And start talking. Yeah.
Have a family team meeting.
Yeah.
And let's implement these and let's all get on board with it. And let's all help each other and let's encourage each other. Yeah. I think that would be huge. Kids love when you sit down and communicate with them.
Yeah, I can picture like a family out there, maybe with some young boys or something. And it's like, oh, I don't know if I get my kids to sit down for a minute. It's like, you need to re-listen these episodes.
Yeah, that's good.
Right? Because your kids are not unmanageable.
No.
Right?
They want to be.
Listen, no offense. It's not them being disrespectful necessarily. It's a lack of leadership. Mm-hmm. Right? So what you do is you hold them to this and say, we're going to have 10 minutes. And this is what I expect. Okay? You're going to sit here. We're going to have a good conversation. You're not going to get up. You're not going to go play. That thing is going to wait over there. I want you to talk to me. I want to talk to you, and we're gonna hang here for a little bit. So I need you to do like you set that, and at first they're gonna kind of be like, they're probably gonna want to test you, and then you have to stick to your grounds. And this is the start, though. Like this is practical application of this, right? And then of course, the other implementation is just always enforcing these things consistently, these standards, these family rules. I actually like using the word standard better than rules.
I do too. I like standards.
Just because sometimes rules can be misused, I think.
I do too.
But
it's overused too.
Standards is kind of like, okay, well, this is the standard we're all rising up to, every one of us. And so really, really important. Okay. Any other thoughts, hon?
I just think the other one is, again, husband and wife, be on the same team. Mm-hmm. Be together and this support each other. Yeah. Because you need that.
Yeah. And then, finally, you guys, I would say that if you really want this to be built into your home, don't just try it for a week.
No.
Okay. You got to try it for a week.
Yeah.
But then don't just try it for a week.
Several weeks.
Right. And again, to Jackie's point here, husband, wife, this is something that you guys got to say. Here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to, one of the husband or the wife is like, this is great. This is what I want to do. I came up with 3 family rules. Hey, honey, sit down, and kids, sit down. We're going to talk through these family rules. Yeah. And you haven't talked to your wife or your husband yet?
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, wait, what? And where did you come up with these rules? I mean, think about that. You and I would be like, wait, what's happening right now?
I would feel like I was a kid. Why am I sitting next to the kids learning the rules?
Exactly.
I would be like...
I would be really challenged by it too, because I'd be like, wait, who put you in charge of our kids? We're a team.
Yeah, I would not like it.
We're in charge. Right.
Well, in that situation, I put myself in charge.
That's right. That's what I mean. And so the next thing you know, we're fighting at the table, and the kids are off playing Legos
again. The standards again. That was very clear how you communicated that. Yeah.
But you got to show up as a unified front. That's why every time that we have, I mean, even to this day, typically when we do a team meeting, you and I have already been talking about what we're going to talk about at the team meeting that night.
That's good.
And we're pretty consistent with it, but it's really important. So guys, listen, I would really highly recommend you download the Strong Family Blueprint below, and and if you're serious, we actually can help you even build this out step by step. We have a lot of coaching clients. We have different programs that we offer that actually get very specific. And I know that there's some people out there that would really care about that. So I want to make sure we mention it so people are aware. Because some people are like, wait, I know you do a lot of coaching, and I didn't even know you accepted other people at this point, and we do, if it's the right people and they really are looking for help and they really want, because family matters to us so much. We are on a mission to help build strong families across the globe. Amen. So, all right. Good job, honey. Sure do love you. Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening, and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.